Hello, everyone. So, today I thought I'll talk about learning a new technology or learning anything new, any new skill, to be honest. And I want to actually give you my opinion and my experience of using these online platforms like Udemy or Coursera now, or basically any other similar platform. But of course, these ones are really popular. Now, let us say you want to learn French, right? Just a random example. Now, I think to learn any skill these days, at, especially in 2022, first of all, you don't really need to. Uh, first of all, I think there is no alternative when it comes to like traditional, old-fashioned classroom or proper, college, university, school. I'm actually in favor of that thing still. But good thing about these days is that we have technology, we have internet penetration, and we have YouTube. We have, of course, plenty of websites where you will find information, and that is, of course, a really good thing. So if you're really passionate about it, or if you really need to learn something and you have limited time, or maybe you have limited money, to be honest, and your objective is to learn a technology so that you can probably get a job, or maybe you can start your own business, or maybe you become a freelancer, you can actually do that very easily. You just need some dedication, or in fact a lot of dedication. That is all you need to do. Now when it comes to these sites like Udemy or Coursera, uh, I think these sites are great because if you look at their courses, of course, they have really good courses, and you have to basically. Uh, Sometimes you need to be lucky to find a good course or a good maybe teacher. For example, if you want to learn Jira, and by the way, I'm not on Udemy. In fact, I made a couple of courses for one of my publisher, like video courses, and they actually have those courses on Udemy, but I'm not directly on Udemy. But if you even if you just want to learn Jira, I think there are courses. I mean, to be honest, I don't really know them, so I can't really say that yes, if the rating is 4.6, then they are good. But I think whenever you're trying to learn a new technology, I think you should probably more than learning that new technology or something that you want to skill, or maybe acquiring a new skill, I think you should probably have your objective or goal in focus. For example, if I want to when I wanted to learn French, so I've been to France few times. The first time I went to France, I was clueless. So I was lost. I got lost in the metro on day one, and I had no idea about how to talk to people. I of course knew like just a couple of words, bonjour, um, and comment allez-vous. That is it. But I of course never really learned French when I went there for the very first time, because when you read French, you of course if you're coming from English speaking background, then you will speak it as English, and it is of course that is how not things work in French. The way you write French and the way you read French or speak it is different. So words, there are silent words. There are words with different pronunciation. For example, Ravi is not Ravi; it is Ravi. So bonjour is not bonjour; it's bonjour. So I mean, I'm not. I know that I'm not saying it properly, but that is how things are. So even if you can probably read something, you'll probably be reading it wrong if you are coming from English background. But that was first time, and when I came back to India, I thought, okay, that was embarrassing. Now I need to learn French. So I actually enrolled myself in French classes for 6 months. Yes, I have learned French. Of course, I'm not really good, and in fact, I've lost my skill. I don't really remember each and everything. But good thing about taking those classes is that now I can, because my vocabulary is not really good. I mean, not really good, but I know a lot of words, and I know how to speak. I mean, not each and everything, of course, but I few things. For I know, like if I go to McDonald's and if they don't have that, that computer to order, I can go to the counter and I can, ask for, uh, poulet and frites, and I hope that is the word, right? Chicken and fries, burger, or maybe. So I know a few things, right? And because I learned it when I enrolled myself. But my objective was that, I should be able to speak French to a native French speaker. Uh, Not of course fluently, but few things. So that was my goal, my objective. And when it comes to, let us say, learning a new technology, like let us say you want to learn web development, right? Now, of course, there are endless courses that you can do. There are endless technologies. You can learn. You can make a website, of course, in a lot of languages, right? But ultimately, it is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And to be honest, even if you keep things very simple, okay, it is HTML plus CSS. But when you want to learn web development, you should know, or you should have very clarity in your mind what is your objective, right? Do you want to learn it to get a job, or do you want to learn it to make your own website? Do you want to learn it to make a website maybe for others? Do you want to become a freelancer? Do you want to just learn designing? So that I think when you have that objective in your mind, then of course you can search for the right course. And to be honest, when it comes to Udemy and Coursera, when it comes to these courses, when you're doing those courses, you're actually fine, right? But the problem is that you have to do those courses from the start till the end. Otherwise, if you leave it in between, then it is a problem, because you won't really gain anything. I mean, you might be able to follow those courses, but you need to be applying that knowledge in real life to actually feel good about your newly acquired skill, or you think if it is a newly acquired skill by doing a course online. So I think Udemy and Coursera, they are fine as long as you have that endpoint, your goal in mind. And at the same time, I think these sites work really well when you're trying to do, or when you're trying to learn a low level, not low level, but because I'm saying low because I'm talking about programming. I think when you want to learn, let us say, programming like Groovy or PHP or Java, then if you're trying to understand the language, if you're trying to learn programming, then I think it is good. But if you're trying to learn a skill which is a bit high level, let us say you're trying to learn, let us say a framework, right? Then you might be able to follow the tutorial and do it properly while you're doing the course, but you might not be able to apply that skill to deliver something in real life, right? And that is where I think the difference comes when it comes to learning a new technology versus learning a new technology to actually do something in your life. So my recommendation is that start by YouTube. I mean, first, of course, start with your goal, like what do you want to do. Then, of course, there is everything that you need to know online these days. That is a great thing. And when you basically learn with this approach of exploring, like, okay, so let us say you're doing something. Let us say you want to create a mobile app, right? So the first thing that you should probably search is, okay, how to set up Android SDK, right? And of course, there is a tutorial. In fact, Google has a tutorial. So of course, you can set up your SDK. Now, the next thing that you should do is, okay, how to create a login page. And to create a login page, you need to know how the UI works. So when you're doing these things, like when you're searching, like when you have your objective, okay, I want to create an app that will do these 10 things. So search for it, right? How to, let us say, I think the last app that I created was basically fetching content from a website using XML, and it was parsing XML. So I learned how to fetch the XML, download it, store it somewhere, save it. I mean, you need to apply permissions. You need to make sure that you have a parser. Either you write your parser yourself if you are really passionate about it, or you use a library. So when you uh, because of course I'm saying this because I'm of course a developer, and my approach is not to do a course and then use it to do something. My approach is, okay, let us start doing it, and let us start building something, and let us start building something and keep on adding on top of it by doing simple search online, how to do this, how to do that. And when you do this, you actually learn how to troubleshoot. You actually learn how to fix problems. You actually learn where to search, and that is how I think real learning comes. And eventually, if you have to, let us say, create a mobile app, or if you want to create a website, you can actually end up doing it in a week, 2 weeks, 1 month. And the learning that you will get from that particular approach will be lifelong. I mean, when you do a course online, you will do a course, maybe if you're dedicated. Usually, people leave their courses when they start doing it because they get lost, or they are not really sure, okay, where exactly am I going. They do one course, they like it, then they may probably they like it for the initial couple of chapters and they leave it, and then they do course hopping. But my personal recommendation would be to just start building, right? Start building, and then learning will follow on its own. All right, that is all. That is all I wanted to talk about today in this video. I hope you enjoyed watching this video and you learned something new today. Thank you very much. Bye bye.